Yo Devin, you can try and use OHF13 Acura MDX TL rear hubs. Those are 5 on 120. Say less. If these fit, game changer. But then the whole car, I mean, 5 on 120 isn't ideal, but the front staying 5 on 120 probably no matter what. So if we had 120 in the front and 114 in the rear, that'd be a little sus. Okie dokie. Let's give her a shot. That would be immaculate if she bolted right up. For starters, is it even? The wheel start. The studs are quite a bit bigger. I don't think it's gonna work. Not even close. Yep, that ain't it. It is 5 on 120 though. It was worth a shot. Oh well. What is up, my friends? Welcome back to the channel. We are on like episode I think 8 of swapping our FK8 Type R to a K24 all-wheel drive. I think the rear is going to be hopefully a pretty easy solution. If I can find a hub that doesn't have these holes in it, we could just have it re-drilled to 5 on 120 and we would be good to go. So I'll take care of that later on. Yesterday we left off with a nice little surprise. Our steering column is quite a bit too long. Let me show you. So here is this guy. Go ahead, slide this up in the steering column. We're getting so close to being 100% done with the front. So that goes in, a little hard to do with one hand. Hard to get it in the hole with one hand. As you can see, there's no way, I should show you, there's no way to get it on the rack. So quite a bit too long on the steering column. We could probably jankily shorten this up. We could collapse this all the way down, like that's what would happen in a wreck, but then we wouldn't have that feature if we were ever to get in a wreck. And maybe I'm overthinking things, but I kind of want to save that crunch point, if that's what that's considered as a crunch point. So I think the best option is going to be to go ahead and pull out the steering column, and that guy right there, we can cut and take maybe 2 inches out, weld they're back together, and we should be good to go. It might be a little difficult to get this column out while the car's on the lift, but I don't want to move on from the front until we're all done with everything. I was just about to pull out the column and shorten it up, but then I realized this thing is adjustable. So if we pull this little lever down here, where's she at? Right here. Ooh. So if we have it out, even like halfway, then we can easily get that, I'm gonna call it a spindle. I don't know what the real word for it is. If we have it out about halfway, then we can get that on. The firewall does need to be trimmed a tiny bit more, but I'm glad and thankful that we don't have to rip apart the whole interior real quick. Or not real quick, it'd probably take a minute to shorten up the steering column. So big W there. Let's go trim the firewall just a touch, and we should have 100% steering. I'm excited. You want to see something cool? Watch this. We have steering, my friends. We have freaking steering. Finally, we have a lot of work to do on the firewall, as you can see, but we have steering, everything works, it's very, very smooth, nothing feels weird, nothing's biting up. But yeah, we have a big old hole to somehow patch. Well, I'm just gonna do what I can. Let's get all this wiring out of the way, hoses out of the way, brake lines out of the way, and I'm just gonna start trying to piece something together with cardboard, and then we can cut it out of metal and pretty much have to rebuild that section of the firewall, keeping in mind we need clearance for the brake booster. So we're gonna have to come out. Yeah, this is gonna be a tough one. This is definitely gonna be a challenge. Let's see what we can do. So basically, I need to build something kind of like this, but without it looking like complete shit. And I am not gonna lie, I have been staring at this for hours on end, trying to figure out exactly where to even start. I guess this is my start with my cardboard. Thankfully, this boot, this little grommet is pretty big and it can kind of form to whatever I decide to build. The main thing here, obviously, is I need it sealed off from the interior, so we ain't got AC and water and heat on our feet. Easily the hardest thing I've had to encounter on the car so far. This is the first pile of shit that I made. I am so freaking lost. I've made 1,000 different pieces out of cardboard. It's so weird because the top of this boot is 2 inches outside the firewall. The bottom of the boot is 2 inches inside the firewall. There's a wiring connector we have to worry about. There's the gas pedal there. The brake pedal is right there. The booster is right above it. For some of you guys, this is probably a walk in the park, but for me, this is the hardest thing I've done on this car so far. Well, V1 was trash. V2 is a little bit cleaner looking, but it does not fit with our brake booster. And honestly, I don't even know what I'm trying to say. This is just one of those things where I'm gonna be done for the day and I'm gonna think about what the hell I'm gonna do and hopefully come back tomorrow with a better plan because I'm just wasting material. It's the weekend and all the steel shops are closed, so I had to go to Lowe's. This little 2x2 sheet, 60 bucks. It already wasted almost half of it. So I could see myself, at this rate, I'm gonna spend about 10 grand in material to rebuild this damn firewall. I'll see you tomorrow. All right, boys, it's the next morning and we are going to try this again. I do have a better idea or a better understanding of what I think I want to do. It always helps to sleep on it overnight. So let's go ahead and get started. And let me show you guys what I'm trying to do. So basically, I'm gonna take this boot here and I'm gonna start off. I need to take the gas pedal out of the way. We may have to relocate the gas pedal, but I'm gonna build another plate, metal plate, like, what a freaking mess. I need to clean this place up. So if the boot on a smaller scale is here, I'm gonna build a plate probably like that. Of course, that is a hole, and then this is the firewall hole, right? So we got the boot, we got the plate with the hole cut in it for the boot, and I'm just gonna build tabs. Bam, 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 all the way around because I don't have a good way of bending metal here. I can cut it and I can weld it just fine, but I don't have a good way of bending the metal. And it looks like complete shit trying to do it the way I was doing it yesterday. So that's the current game plan. I think it's gonna work out. I know it's gonna work out. It's just gonna take a while, which I wasn't trying to spend a whole day on just patching this firewall, but it is what it is. So let's do it. Well, boys, I can see the vision. I can see the end result in sight, which is very, very exciting. So let me, I'll go ahead and build a plate with you guys to show you exactly what I'm doing. I always start off with cardboard, so we're not wasting a shit ton of material. And where'd my scissors go? It's amazing what some sleep and maybe a beer or two the night before to make you think better and clear. It's a big help. So this is gonna be here. The only thing we have to worry about is brake pedal clearance and brake booster clearance. The gas pedal, I can kind of work around this. I really don't want to start relocating the brake pedal as well if I don't have to, which I don't think I will have to. And I'm trying to do this as clean as possible. So, especially the top side. The bottom side I'm not so worried about, but top side I want a nice, beautiful, like hexagon shape. Okay, looking pretty good. Go ahead and lop that there. And we have all the space in the world for, oh yeah, that'll work. All the space in the world for the steering column to attach. Can't think. So I just have a tiny tack on the car up here, tiny tack on the car down there, so we can easily break it off. I'm gonna go through and of course make it all nice and strong, but she's gotta be tacked up first. Make it perfect. All right, there's the next piece. And see how I did that? We do have a little gap up here. I'll just toss some weld in there when we're attaching it to the car. So now we're gonna take that piece, I'm gonna find my marker, which I lose every time. Marker, come on now. There she is. I'm trying to use up all the scrap metal from last night, if I can. There we go. Let's go lop this out, get it tacked up, rinse and repeat. I think we got about maybe 3 or 4 more plates to build, and then I'll pull it off, weld up all the seams, make it nice and pretty, trim off the excess that we don't need, and we should be good to go. And then we can test fit, make sure we got brake pedal clearance, make sure we got brake booster clearance, and make sure, of course, the rack goes in fine and seals up fine. So here is the third rendition, I guess you'd call it, third version of what we got going on. First 2 were last night, did not turn out good at all. This one I took quite a bit more time on. Now we do need to go ahead and trim the bottom side, and then on the back side we need to trim it a little bit as well. There's a ton of this initial plate material on the back side. So we're gonna have to trim that, but let's go ahead and make sure the boot still fits. Oh yeah, she lines up just like that. So we gotta trim the back side for the brake pedal, and then let's go ahead and see. Now we do have a new brake booster coming in that is quite a bit smaller, but let's see if the Type R one fits. Now this thing's quite janky because I'll dent it up, but if this one fits, the new one's definitely gonna fit. Come on. And like I said, I think the new one's quite a bit smaller and it should be here tomorrow. So let's go ahead and pull this off, do the trimming that we need to trim, make sure we got brake pedal clearance, and then from there we should be able to run through, weld the entire backside up, weld it to the car, and we should be good. So all this right here, this is all got to be cut off. And then of course, there's a couple little gaps here and there that we're gonna have to fill. But for the most part, that'll work. Wait till it's done, it'll look better. Almost got all complete, and we ran out of welding wire, so we just have a little bit of welding left to do there. Trim that piece off and some other buttoning up, but this is how it kind of sits in the car. It did get a touch warped when I was welding it up, but she sits like that. And don't worry, all my janky welds will be covered with seam sealer, like they should be anyway. All that stuff down there. So I'm gonna run in real quick, grab some more welding wire. Also, I'm sure my welds look a whole lot better if I knew how to set up the welder properly, but I'm just kind of winging it for now. Definitely beefy, definitely some thick welds, and certainly some heat in the welds too, so we should be good. This, surprisingly enough, maybe not surprising, but this is definitely the hardest piece of the car so far. This was a bitch to get fabbed. My favorite store in the world is actually closed today, probably because it's Easter. So we were gonna have to weld that up tomorrow. I'm gonna head back to the shop real quick just to make sure. I have yet to actually put that little cup thing that I built on there with the rack and subframe. So let's go make sure it all works, and then we can weld it tomorrow. Of course, it's gonna look a whole lot better once it's seam sealed and cleaned up, but I'm pretty proud of it, if I'm being honest. This might be tricky. Look at that. Got some squish on the seal and everything. That is beautiful. As soon as it's all mounted up on the car, definitely gonna run through with a grinder, try to clean up those welds, and then of course slap the seam sealer down. I'm trying to get it to look just OEM. Of course, it's not gonna look absolutely OEM, but for the tools I have and for my very, very limited abilities and knowledge with this kind of stuff, I feel like it turned out all right. We'll see how it is with some seam sealer on it. I'm gonna call that a wrap for the day. Can't really make much more progress on anything until we get some welding wire anyway. So tomorrow we can get that cup thing ground down, weld it up on the car, seam sealed, probably just put a little bit of paint on it, and hopefully move on to the rear diff. Hope you guys enjoyed today's video. It was a wild ride, but we got her done. Peace out.